Amin Thompson and his twin Asar have collectively been one of the main topics of conversation in this class, with the combination of their great talents and the unknowns that still come along with overtime elite leading the way. At 6'7", 200 plus with a 6'9" wingspan, Amin is a big guard with exceptional athletic and playmaking abilities and high level defensive upside. While there are still some questions left to answer in his game and in evaluating this still new setting, he does some special things that we just don't often see and has upside as a primary, and that's a big part of why he's so highly regarded. There's no better place to start than with Amin's athleticism because he's special in this aspect and one of the most athletic prospects I've seen in multiple ways. He's also one of the most unique and unorthodox movers that'll be in the NBA as soon as he enters. He posted a 44-inch vertical at the OTE Combine in 2021, which could be even higher now. He gets up extremely quickly with minimal load up off both 1 and 2 feet. His fast twitch doesn't make any sense at times, and it of course allows him to finish above the rim both in traffic and in the open floor. Where he is at his best, he's super dynamic in transition. That combination of raw speed, instincts to leak out and get the ball out quickly and fill a lane is tremendous. And that's not even mentioning the passing and outlets that he had there. And he's just someone that can really push the pace and convert defense into offense very quickly. There's a lot of buzzwords that are thrown around to describe prospects, but Amin is truly an elite athlete. He checks all the boxes and will step into the league from day one as one of those guys in the upper echelon, with the potential to grow even further from there. And some of the plays that he pulled off both this year and last year are pretty unbelievable.
Start so far, 20-7. I mean, they're good, but oh my God, again.
Yeah, it's just oh my goodness, he leaking like a bad faucet. Here you go.
Thompson. Careless turnover there.
Showtime.
Amin. Right turns it over on the dribble. Quick inbound.
Amin. Go from high school to college, but they skipped the college step and they're playing against pros. So it's a completely
goodness. Aiden Sherrill. The level of difficulty, and then just walks in. Sar, another bounce pass, turns it over.
Oh man.
Amin on the fast break over to Sar. Back to Amin.
He's a high-level driver with a tremendous first step that allows him to frequently blow past defenders, and he often mixes that with a good change of pace, push crosses, and just some really unpredictable movements. And this is a big part of not only his offensive game, but in him drawing the defense and opening up opportunities for his teammates as well. Once he gets to the rim, the way he's able to take contact, contort his body, hang in the air, and the level of touch that he's shown on some of these finishes is just special. Now, his half-court numbers were good at around 60%. The layups were lower, hovering around 50%. But a big part of that was his tendency to make things tougher than they should be sometimes. Also with a long list of moments where he should be thinking dunk, but I find it hard to believe someone this athletic and capable of using either hand, clutching and reversing won't at least be above average, if not much better in this area.
Thompson. Oh, yep. All right. Amin.
Hey man, they can
wide
catch up.
Open. Well, thought it had to go hard.
I like that right there.
Hey, see how long they stay in their zone though. Because if it's not working, you gotta get a body.
I think this game sums up the cold hard season.
It really does, man.
Oh my God.
That's such a tough play to make.
Oh my goodness.
Do you?
Yep.
Amin Thompson. I'm telling you, it's crafty.
Last time you saw a honey dip in game.
Man,
Last time Thompson did it.
Yeah, true.
Man, that was a casual.
I've seen this elsewhere, man.
Bro, the NBA dunk contest.
Another one of the defining elements of Amin's game is his passing and playmaking. He takes a tremendous first step and ability to get downhill and match it with the vision he has to find open teammates, and also the creativity, velocity, and accuracy on these passes, and you end up with someone who has clear appeal as a primary decision maker. He frequently found teammates off of those drives as the defense collapsed to him on driving kicks or quick little dump offs or lobs to the big, and also loved to use the jump pass in a lot of moments and excelled at hitting cutters. He was a presence in the pick and roll with good pace and feel for his options. I think he could still continue to diversify his passes here and play with different angles, but he made it happen often and did a pretty good job. And as we kind of mentioned earlier, he was ridiculous in multiple ways in transition, taking it coast to coast, throwing some no looks, some on target hit aheads and outlets, and just finding the open man and maintaining control of the ball when moving at such a fast pace. Now, the growth of the rest of his offensive game will only multiply how dangerous he can be as a playmaker, but the good thing is he can already create clear advantages and command attention, which is paramount for the best passers, and he's got a real chance to be one of the better playmakers in the league in time.
I'm trying to get on the court, bro.
Before they do it, and there's some people that can just react. I think that's what Rob does. Great.
On the man up top with Ryan Bewley.
And Matt Bewley back in.
Inside! It's a certified problem.
Listen though, if I'm
Yeah, that's a good one.
Ryan Bewley!
And OTE.
Oh.
Wow.
And as great of a guy he is, I'm really looking forward to him getting like dunked on or something though. Like,
3 seconds on the clock. Eli!
Touchdown,
oh, they
touchdown.
done.
What a pass!
Just does not feel good about the jumper, and City Reapers are going the other way.
Showtime.
Amen to the star.
Oh, man.
hey, oh man.
Up to a man.
Oh, that's a great skip.
Eli for 3. Bucket.
Oh, Bryce Briggs almost.
What a skill.
Oh, look. Great pass.
There we go. That's a good board.
Quick on the break. That's his spot, too. The transition D continues to hurt the cold.
Another big part of his appeal is in his upside defensively. He's 6'7" and has the potential to spend time guarding 1 through 3 with added strength and focusing more at the point of attack and defending ball screens, but you really like his foot speed and athletic tools and the versatility that he could have on the ball. He's also a natural playmaker with a nose for the ball and came up with some big time steals, blocks, and deflections in help position, often turning these into easy points on the other end, and I think this is where he could really shine in the NBA, providing everything from some weak side help in the bucket, playing passing lanes, and being someone teams have to think about away from the ball. Now, OTE wasn't the best environment to evaluate defense specifically, and we'll touch on that some more, but the pieces are there both athletically and in his field to be high impact on this end.
Dangerous.
There we go. Hey, do something.
Trade, man. Like, let me know your thought process.
I look at playing as another opportunity.
One of the greatest guys in OTE history, man.
Uh-oh, a man poked it.
Play after the ankle injury.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, this game gives you highs and lows.
Guys just quiet. But they definitely look.
Here we go again.
Here's a play from a moment ago. Way to meet him at the rim. And they were able to find a Sar. Thompson, Malik Bowman on the floor right now.
Let's see if this is a foul. I don't think this is a foul. Okay. Yeah,
That is a foul.
That seemed like a little bit of contact. No call. Oh!
Now, one of the biggest improvement areas within a men's game is his shooting. He's been a non-shooter with mechanics and indicators that aren't favorable for a while, and though I felt like he made noticeable progress since last year, it didn't really yield results in his volume or effectiveness on most areas of the court, shooting around 25 to 27% from 3 and under 70% from the line. He's a good enough playmaker and athlete to overcome some of this, but it's still something that makes the game a lot more difficult and could potentially keep him off the floor in moments, definitely alters his ceiling and ability to play off the ball or in a bit of a different role. And because of that, this continues to be his most pressing improvement area, and while I can't say I'm confident in him becoming a good shooter in the future, I think serviceable is realistic, but he's got a ways to go. And more than anything, I think teams getting a sense of his work ethic will be much more significant than any mechanics or percentages.
You gotta get over it.
I think he's only taken 2 today. There we go.
No call. Ethan just turned it over. I don't think that was a foul.
No. It wasn't a foul. It was
Committed to NC State. He's an exciting player to watch.
Oh my. Sar Thompson driving, kicking. Amen.
Yeah, it was.
Now he can also continue adding to his polish and overall skill set as a scorer in the half court, specifically in his pull-up and in the pick and roll. He struggled to make teams pay for playing him severely under. He wasn't particularly comfortable taking pull-ups both in and out of the pick and roll from 3 or the mid-range, and knowing how teams are going to play him as a dynamic downhill threat, this is stuff that'll really help take him to that next level and make his job a lot easier. He should still be able to work around some of this through flipping screens, getting downhill, and finishing through and around defenders, but you become a lot easier to scheme against if the only place that you'll consistently take and make shots is taking off towards the rim. Now he did have a few flashes, some that were special and get you thinking about all the what ifs, but sub 30% on off the dribble jumpers with inconsistent mechanics and being unwilling at times isn't going to convince you just yet.
What number, 34?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right, well, Tyler, appreciate you checking in. We're going to get back to the game. Appreciate you, bro. All right, I'll see you guys.
Appreciate it, Tom.
Pick and roll with Thompson. Step back midi, don't tell me. Oh my God. Thompson with it. Screen by Big John, mid-range Jimmy. It is a back and forth.
Oh, man.
A man.
I like that right there.
I think Amin should also look to really tighten his handle and ball security and continue adding counters. There were moments where he'd almost be moving too fast for his body, or when that initial move would get cut off, the potential for him to lose control of the ball would go up quite a bit, and you can just see it get loose at times. I'm not saying that he can't handle the ball, he's already solid, especially at that size. But to get to that next level and really parlay that first step into something nearly unguardable, this has to be high on the agenda, and it might even be more important than all the shooting in the short term, or at least in maximizing what he does well already.
Jersey's a little bit better than the Reaper jersey.
The shorts, too. The league leader in three-point percentage, 44%.
See it. A man walks it up. He's so explosive. Spin move. Travel.
And then defensively, one thing that has stood out with a lot of players in OTE, but with the Twins and Amin specifically, is some of the bad habits, the gambling, and the lack of consistency discipline-wise that was there. And to an extent, I understand it. Amin is a supreme athlete and could get away with certain things without it affecting his team's ability to win games. But heading towards the next level, you'd like to see him be more disciplined, take less plays off, and stay attached to finished plays. There were too many moments where he'd die on a screen, get caught ball watching, or just simply not finish off possessions and rotate. Now, again, we've seen it before. I think this will just happen naturally with the level of expectations and stakes raised with the NBA talent. But if they do happen to be longer lasting habits, they'll need to be addressed in order to maximize some of the potential and just simply prevent getting unnecessarily burnt. Amin's outlook is one of the more compelling and somewhat two-sided that I've seen. At his best, I think he can definitely be an all-star and even higher as one of the more dynamic and unique lead guards in the NBA, someone who bends defenses and has an impact on both ends of the floor. Now, a good amount of that will be contingent on where the half-court offense and shooting goes, but I think he could still achieve a lot without like an outlier transformation of his jumper. But on the flip side of that, if nothing really changes from now, I'm not sure what it looks like in terms of role and impact. But all things considered, that upside is tough to turn down in the top 3 to 6, depending on the order, with those best landing spots being San Antonio, Houston, and potentially Utah if they were to move up, or he were to fall dramatically for some reason. All of them have the ability to give him lead guard reps, a longer leash for mistakes, and a younger timeline as well. Now, comparison wise, I don't think that there's one that makes a lot of sense or adds to the conversation. There's some elements of a Tyler Ja in there, some supercharged Josh Giddey, a little Markelle Fultz. You can make a connection to them in ways, but none that really line up to me. Amin Thompson is one of the most interesting prospects in recent memory. A special athlete and playmaker with size and can get to the paint at will is a combination we've seen be very successful. However, shooting and half-court concerns at this stage give some substantial hesitation, especially when you factor in the OTE competition and him being a bit older. But weighing everything, I'm still comfortable betting on him at the top of the draft. He's got some outlier traits. We got to see him perform well against pros multiple times last summer. Maybe the avenues to success are a bit more narrow for a top guy than usual, but as long as the work ethic and approach is there to match the talent, he can definitely end up being a real difference maker.